Let's discuss with Congresswoman Madeleine Dean. She represents the 4th District in Pennsylvania. She's also an impeachment manager. Congresswoman, thanks so much for joining us. As you know, Democrats so far been pretty tight-lipped about the strategy for this upcoming Senate trial. When will we know, as far as you can tell us, when this will actually get underway?
Well, that is entirely up to the Speaker of the House to present the article of impeachment. The Senate is not in session. As you know, they return this coming week. The time frame, I believe, will be soon, but that will be triggered by the decision of the Speaker of the House.
As a House impeachment manager, you're going to be working on this, obviously. Have you already decided whether you will call witnesses?
Well, you know what? I won't preview our strategy. We have been working. I'm really honored, Wolf, to be a part of this team so ably, honorably led by Jamie Raskin. We're a team of 9, and we're friends and colleagues, and we respect one another. So we're working hard. Not one of us will preview our strategy. In terms of witnesses, what I think is so obvious is that you were a witness. I was a witness. The world witnessed what took place here. So there are an uncountable number of witnesses. I was actually in the gallery in the Capitol at the time of the attack. And went through that series of chilling warnings and the banging on the doors of the ground floor of the House, and then the breaking of those doors. We were witness to this, as were the senators.
How scared were you?
I was terrified. I really was. In the beginning, I don't know if it's a defense mechanism, but I thought surely they won't be able to come here. I had no idea the numbers. But I will tell you, when they finally, the first instruction was to sit down, then it was to get down on the ground, either kneel or lie down. I found myself going to the front row of the gallery to be behind that front wall. And then they told us to take out our gas masks. And then they told us to put them on. I was terrified. I'd had the chance to talk to a couple family members, and sadly I scared them. But it was absolutely terrifying. And let's remember what happened here. The president incited an attack by Americans on Americans in a desperate grab to hold on to power. He threatened the constitutional stability of our democracy. And he didn't do it on just any day of the week. He invited that mob to the White House on the 6th of January, the day he knew we would be in a joint session of Congress performing our constitutional duty to certify the election, which he was so desperate to undo that he would unleash an insurrection. It's so shameful. I can't believe this is where we are, but it is where we are, and I take my solemn duty with great responsibility and a heavy heart.
I know you're back home in Pennsylvania right now, but I assume you'll be coming back to Washington for the inauguration. Is that right?
I am coming back to Washington. I'm not sure when I'm coming back. I understand travel within the city is difficult, but I'll be coming back to Washington very early this week.
Because I've spoken to some of your colleagues, you know, they went through what you went through, and they were terrified as well. Some of them continue to suffer from a little post-traumatic stress. Are you suffering right now? Are you okay?
I think I'm okay. I will tell you, I slipped into about 4 to 5 days of utter anger. I think that's probably a natural part of the process. But then when the Speaker called me and asked if I would serve as an impeachment manager, I have to tell you that has galvanized me. But I will be aware and pay attention to signs of PTSD, as every one of us should be. I have to tell you, on our caucus calls, we have a couple of doctors among our ranks, and they have said that very, very kindly. Pay attention to yourself and pay attention to your surroundings and how you're feeling. But for right now, I am pouring myself into the important job at hand, which is to try this president for the high crimes and misdemeanors that he is guilty of, and make sure he is convicted, prohibited from ever running from office again, and send a message to the world that this insurrection was just an aberration. And this week, with a new president and President Biden and Kamala Harris, brighter days will be ahead.
Are you at all concerned, you know, that some have expressing some concern that the Senate trial potentially could step on President-elect Biden's first days in office? What do you think about that? Should it be delayed in order to give him a chance to get all of his cabinet nominees confirmed to start dealing aggressively with new legislation on coronavirus, infrastructure, the economy? There's so much work that needs to be done.
There's so much work that needs to be done. The Senate is capable of doing both, of walking and chewing gum at the same time. And in President Biden and Kamala Harris, I see a team so prepared, if anybody was, to have to deal with the number of crises at hand. So it is not as though we have the luxury of just dealing with one thing or another. We have a pandemic with nearly 400,000 people dead, thousands of people dying a day. We have an insurrection incited by the outgoing president, and we have the promise of a new administration. So I believe we must and we can do all of it, and a President Biden will be capable of sharing that work product and making sure that he gets his cabinet underway, he gets his initiatives underway as he's rolled out, but also that we live up to our constitutional duty. He's a former senator. He knows exactly the role that they must play. If there were ever a president capable of handling this calamitous time, it's Joe Biden.
Congresswoman Madeleine Dean of Pennsylvania, good luck to you. I'm glad you're feeling okay. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Wolf. Take care.